As a community, the village of my alma mater was founded a century ago. Even with the world at war, a quieter, ongoing revolution centered on America's children. Playgrounds were a rarity. Most children didn't play, they worked. But now as a cause, children's need for play became a movement. In education, the Montessori method spread from Europe to the New World. And America also began embracing secondary education as a right, not a privilege. In Rochester, a small progressive school began a journey over its first decade as it moved 7 times and changed its name once. By 1926, the Harley School arrived on Clover Street. The next 40 years brought major changes to facilities and curriculum. Yet as a progressive community dedicated to the young, it held fast. But I'll let history tell its own story, because this film features first-person testimony, including my own.
I remember the stark contrast when I got hired to start teaching here in September of 1975 between Don Backey, and then I had to sit and meet with the headmaster, Stephen Hendricks. I was a little nervous. He was quite proper. He sat us down and said, I want to make sure you are willing to buy in. When you teach in an independent school, we call it private school then, but now we call it independent school. When you teach in a private school, are you willing to adopt a lifestyle? To be, to live our creed, to show up at things. We're buying into a family lifestyle and the Harley way. Are you willing to do it? So of course I said yes, but he scared me a little. But what I realized is he made sure that the faculty members he hired were willing to buy in to this philosophy that sort of transcended the place, that we were here, not just for ourselves, but for the good of all. And that was important.
Relationship with the teachers, they really are like family to you. You know, we keep in touch with a lot of them. Some have helped me even through college and get into law school, and you know, just the bond that you have with them, with your teachers and your friends from Harley are lifelong.
The hospice program that my brother participated in and became very applicable to our own lives. Eventually, you know, when you think about death and dying, it's something that nobody really wants to talk about, and that we were able to create a space here where people could talk about the uncomfortable and the scary and the, you know, taboo was just a huge indicator of how open and, you know, honest and just incredibly compassionate the people are that are here, that are in it, that are leading it.
When I meet new parents, I tell them flat out, if you use the word school, you miss about 80% of what this place is about. I think of this whole school, for the lack of a better word, as a chautauqua under one roof. A gathering of people with common interests in civil discourse and in mutual education and in some kind of achievement that they can bring back to this community to share the fruits of their efforts. I think of Harley very much like that.
So I've been here for a lot of decades. I mean, I was here in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughts, teens. But the people are what I really remember. People like Tom Toole and, of course, Bud Ewell, who has been an institution here for decades. And I'd say the thing that stays the same, and it's one of the things that I value about the school, is the diversity of the students intellectually. The thing that's nice here is there's a range of students, a range of abilities within the students. When you have that kind of variety in the students, it really helps everybody.
The courses that we teach here can help kids be in this very changing global world. The world has gotten smaller for our kids, and they have to have not isolated skills, but connected skills to help them be successful.
Thinking about thinking, which in a way is what you do, critical thinking. And you don't have a course in critical thinking. A lot of schools do. They have a course. They create a box in which you will think critically. It should go on virtually every day in everything you study. It's not a course. It's a way of life that's as a means to learn.
My son was a freshman last year at the college. He had to interview a few people in order to do this script for the documentary, and he decided to interview a political science teacher that he was involved taking a class from and stuff. And his teacher at the end said to him, "I hope you take more classes from me. I really like the way you think." And I think that is a direct correlation to his education here.
It was a great change for me, coming from a background where you didn't have a lot of support, educational wise, had a lot of family support. However, it didn't have people really rooting for me to build an education for myself in order to think about my long-term goals. It was a total change for me to actually have homework every single day, and to be accountable to make sure that you're getting your classwork done, really pushing me and driving me to do better than I thought I ever could. And now that I think about that, that's what drives me in my business, is to make sure that I'm making everyone accountable. And I think it started with Harley.
It was really a quite wondrous place to spend a career. I taught 40 years, 32 of them here. That ain't bad. It holds you in its midst, and I can't explain it. I can talk around the edges, but there's that soul. This school is a living thing.
When I first came, I learned that the motto was "Become what thou art," and I learned over my 17 years here that it's a really amazing motto, that we really do help kids become what they're best at and what they're destined to be. We help them to become who they should be.
This place has always allowed me to be who I am, which is not how I was described originally at my first preschool. So,
Well, my son was in primary, like kindergarten. He used to hang out a lot, I guess, in the bathroom. And it turned out that there was a poster in there of sign language letters. And he was in there practicing his sign language letters, even though they weren't going over it in class. And so after his teachers discovered that he was, practicing these letters, they did a little unit on sign language with the kids because of Leo's interest in the letters. And I just know in my experience with school, it's like whatever was set to do that day is what you do. But for Harley, those teachers said, wow, there's a real interest in that, and let's just do a little research before class, and we're going to go that direction.
I hope the school doesn't change its emphasis on the individual and looking in each person for who that person really is and bringing them to experience their capabilities, their talents, their unique qualities, and to respect those things about themselves. And as they work together, students and teachers, as they respect that in each other.
Graduation, a gateway, an unforgettable milepost on the way to adulthood. 45 years after starting my own journey, I came back to compile a story of a community. And that story will continue within a collective mission to enlighten, to inspire, to bring forth, as well as to educate. In a time of uncertainty of purpose, Harley encourages worldviews anchored with compassion and responsibility. Harley's gift illuminates each personal journey on the path to creative insight, with the hard work called learning, of recognizing wisdom sent forward from the past. Harley teaches the essential vocabulary of thinking, growing rational, artistic, philosophical, and literary thought. And so while creating this film, I reaffirmed what I already knew. Even at the age of 63, I am still tasked to keep learning, caring, and listening, especially to the inner voice, a shared request planted a century ago, as if an acorn, within the village of my alma mater. A voice which still sings today, become what thou art. To thee, O heart.